What's up, people? Peri here with episode number 12. And it's been a while since I've done one of these episodes. I've been kind of, the weekend, as it turns out, the weekends are not the best time for me to be recording because I have a lot of errands to run with my wife and lots of different little things that I got going on in my life that, unfortunately, I have to take care of instead of playing the video games all the time. But as it turns out, the weekdays when I do work, it's the best time for me. I don't know why that is, but yeah, it's just one of those routines that you got to go through. But anyways, the other reason why I haven't been recording is that I've been trying to set up this new mic, and I'm glad that to hear that some of you really like the new mic and how it's turning out. I like the quality of it. I know that I've been getting a lot of people saying that the volume level was too quiet on my old mic, and I've tried to pump up the volume on that thing many times, and it's had various different effects on it, and it's something that I tried working on, but I couldn't really quite fix. But hopefully with this new mic, everything sounds a lot better, and hopefully you enjoy the new quality. The other thing that's happened, lots of things have been happening, is that I have switched to the 1.8 update now. And one of the things when you first switch to a new update is a lot of the mods that you have on your game, your Minecraft game, tend to not update as quickly as the update would. And one of the things that I use is Optifine. And the only reason why I use Optifine is not really for the performance boost, because the game runs just fine without it. But the thing that I use it for is because of this guy right here, the sun. And you might notice, you might see in some episodes, the sun, it kind of resets from here as it goes down and then resets over there. So I like to keep it during the daytime. And that's just allows me to see everything a little bit better. But, since Optifine's not up to date just yet, what we'll have to deal with is the darkness of the evening. And you know what, that might be a cool thing. I might just keep it like that. But you get to see some things at night, especially with how everything gets lit up at nighttime. But for this episode, what I thought that we would do is, you could already see here, I've done some clear cutting. And one of the things that I was really, I don't want to say curious about, but I was curious about the look of what the difference between the TNT explosion there you saw in the little sub special in the last episode, or not the last episode, I think it was 2 episodes ago. But I kind of like the way the TNT kind of blew out this area here. If you remember, there was like a giant mountainside here, and I kind of took it out. But then, in order to clear out the rest of it, instead of layering it with a whole bunch of TNT, I decided to just use MC Edit. And I don't know, it's not very satisfying using MC Edit on this terrain. There's a huge mountainside here and over here, and I've kind of just clear cutted all that away, and it was just basically just make a box selection and then delete it. But I kind of like the way that the TNT kind of naturally formed the terrain as it is, and then you can see the sun's going down. But what I have for you is a little kind of a behind the scenes clip of just what it took to make the explosion right here. So we're going to take a look at that, and I'll be right back with you. All right, and here we are with a little kind of behind the scenes clip here. It's basically a pre-explosion, and just kind of showing you some of the things that went on in order to do the shot that you see, which was the kind of multi-camera explosion thing. And the first thing I gotta tell you is my skill on redstone, it sucks. It's not very good. Don't think that it took some redstone genius in order to hook up what you see here. This was all pretty much trial and error. So this button right here, yeah, not connected to anything, absolutely nothing. And how I did this, how I did multiple cameras, is I had multiple worlds basically. I just backed it up and then reloaded the save after each explosion, and then took shots from every angle. So the first one was here, the second one was over here. You can see where the this magenta wool is. I think that's the color. And another shot over there. And I really enjoyed the whole process of editing all that together, try to make it all look like it was all done at one time. That was a lot of fun for me. The other thing is, if you wanna know how, obviously, just standing there and waiting for an explosion to happen, how can I trigger that explosion? Well, it ended up being like this. Whole bunch of repeaters set to like max level timing or whatever it is. And that's what I did. I placed the redstone torch and just jetted off to wherever I needed to go. I would do the explosion over again, but without the help of Optifine, as it turns out, it does lag the game quite a bit. But that's just a little behind the scenes thing. If you wanted to try something out like this yourself, the other thing is that there's about 4,000 pieces of TNT in this whole structure thing here. And that's a lot of creepers you got to kill, and there's a lot of sand that you got to harvest. So it's just something that I wanted to share, just in case you were wondering anything about it. And if you wanted to try it yourself, there's a lot that goes into it. And I couldn't have done this without the help of MC Edit, because doing this, even in creative mode, would have taken a long time. So yeah, that's it. That's my little behind the scenes tour. Whoops. The dangers of using TNT, I guess. That's something that I'll have to fix. But what I want to concentrate in this episode is getting underway with the multiple projects. As you can see, I've cleared out a lot of what needs to be cleared out, as well as this area here. There's going to be a lot of planning that takes place. I think what will end up happening is that right here, there's supposed to be a big hall that goes down this way, and then that leads to a home up here, and then there's going to be a castle over here. And over here will be the main part of the palace, kind of like the where you come in through the main entrance, and then there's this giant building here. That's where that will be, right here. But first, before we get to all of that, we kind of have to develop a little bit of a pattern. And the idea behind that is that it'll be something that I can repeat as we go along. And you did see that in the last episode. I was kind of working on that when I was doing the little Q&A. But what I want to do next is go off into that planning world so that we can get that all sorted out. So one of the issues that I'm running into as we plan out our build here, and we're here in our planning world, of course, planning away. Yeah, but one of the things that I'm running into, one of the issues that I'm running into is trying to make the facades not too repetitive. So if you take a look at this area here, in the planning world, each block, so each one of these blocks is equal to 4 blocks in the main world. And basically how I calculated that is that with using MC Edit, I was able to reduce the terrain size to about 25% of the original size. And so 1 block equals 4 blocks. So there's your little math lesson for the day. But I tried to replicate this facade here in the main world scale. And if we just fly over here, and here's a little trick I learned in the comments. How about that? When did they put that in Minecraft? I don't know when they added that in, but whoever gave me that tip, thank you very much. It's helped me out a great deal when I've been flying around here, for sure. Saved a lot of time. But as you can see here, I've replicated the that facade over there, and as you can see, it looks a little bit too repetitive. I mean, I do have a variation of this facade in here, and that would be something that I would kind of put in to kind of break up the monotony, but I don't think it's enough, because to me what it looks like is that the distance between these pillars is a little bit too short for me. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't allow for much detail in the middle here. So you kind of have this window and it's kind of framed in like so. But what I would like to try and do is maybe have a window and then, not just like a window, basically, not just a window in the middle here. Be able to dress it up on the sides a little bit more. Maybe the pillars could be a little bit larger. But this was actually made probably about a year ago, this whole facade thing. And, as time goes on, sometimes you tend to figure that things would look better this way or that way. And that's all part of the design process. Even though this was made over a year ago, your opinion can change, and, you end up renovating things. At least that's what I like to do. But the other thing that I was thinking about was this roof line. It looks a little too boring for me. It's not up to my standards anymore, so I want to try and change that around. But what we need to do first is to come up with a new concept, and as soon as I do that, I'll be right back with you. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that instead of the pillars here being too wide, we'll go with 3 wide. So we'll just do something like this. And it's always good to just start off with one type of block, just to kind of rough in the aspects of the build that you want. And don't worry about too much about like what, stairs and other different types of blocks of that nature. It's always good to just, kind of sketch out your ideas first before you dive in and start adding in details. So first off, I think we're going to go with a 3 wide pillar. So instead of 2, we got 3. And for the gaps in between, I think it's 5 gap. There's a gap of 5 in between them. Yeah. But in our case here, what I think we're going to go for is 9. So we're cut off 9. 9 just like that. And then we're going to add in another pillar here. And this kind of just outlines exactly what we want to do. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm just going to start building up all this stuff. I'm just going to talk about a little buddy of mine. Well, he's not a little. I think he's older than me, actually. But if you look in my channel page, there's a whole list of inspiring people, and there's some really well-known YouTubers there. But one of them is Faleron, and that guy, he's one of my guys that I know from the Build Inc. days, and actually he was the first guy that I talked to when I first got onto the server. He was the only one on the server at the time, and he was kind enough to say hi to me, and we got along really great. And he's doing a series called The Traveling Mage. I think I got the name right. Adventures of the Traveling Mage, yes. And I'm sorry if I screwed that up, but I'm going to leave a link in the description to his little series there, to his latest episode. But in this series, and it's kind of an interesting concept, I'm pretty sure it's been done before, but the way he does it, I really enjoy the way he does it. He kind of tells a story of his adventures as he goes along. But the really cool part is that he has someone kind of narrate during some of the bits. Running out of words to say, but he kind of has a guest narrator on to kind of describe what's happening, and he's invited me to do a little bit of guest narration for him in one of his episodes. So look for that in the future, and I'm really excited about doing it, because you know what, Fal is one of those guys that, he's been around YouTube for a while. He may not have the subscriber count that he deserves, but he keeps on going. He's one of those guys that has inspired me to do YouTube, just in the way that he's, day in and day out, he's always managed to, put out videos when he can, and it's not his full-time job, obviously, but he's one of those guys that just likes to do YouTube for the sake of, making videos and, creating content. And I think, I would, really like to be around as long as he has been around so far. I mean, I've only been doing this for about a month, less than a month. No, well, definitely more than a month, but I would like to have his desire to make videos and to be able to um, you know just be creative, right? And so, you should go visit his channel. I'll leave a link in the description to his latest episode of the Traveling Mage. And then when we do record that episode with myself in it, I'll put a link in the description for that too. But yeah, go check out his channel. Go like his video. Go subscribe to him. But this is the idea that I'm going for. And yeah, so see, you got these large pillars here. This allows us to kind of put some details in here. So I could do something like this, even hollow that out. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe I could put a different color brick in there, much like some of our other builds have that sort of aspect to it. So I could do something like this. Kind of like that. And then in the middle here, we could probably have another window just like this. So I think it's 5 blocks wide. So that's the middle. Count off on each side. So five blocks wide, and then we can make a window here. I'm just roughing in, the main parts of this area here, just so we can get a good idea of what we want. And yeah, that looks all right. This allows us, instead of just having like a pillar and then a window and then another pillar, we have this added area here in order to put a little bit more detail. And that's what it's all about. That's what I'm trying to get for. So I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna keep on going on with this. I won't bore you with all the little details of me trying to figure it out, and I'll see you in just a bit. All right, you ready for the big reveal? Looks like crap, doesn't it? I don't know what happened. I was really looking forward to adding in all these extra details and stuff like that, and it turns out something like this. I don't know what happened. Well, this is all part of the design process. I'm sure by next episode I'll come up with something a little bit better. Yeah, like I said, it's all part of the design process. Sometimes you just run a blank, but this is basically what I came up with in about, I think it took me about half an hour to put this together, but it's definitely not my best work. I'm thinking of the, I don't know if you ever watched The Price is Right. You know that sound whenever they lose, like that is the only time you'll ever hear me sing. Yeah. I should really tell you the story about my singing career at my wedding. How about that? Maybe I'll save that story for another time. Oh man, a little bit too much about my personal life going out on YouTube now, but whatever. But yeah, it's something that it's getting there. I mean, I like this whole concept here about the the pillars having this type of design, but I'm not really a big fan of this bottom area here. It's a little bit too squarish for my liking, and in the middle here I thought I was going to be able to add in more detail, but as it turns out, it's not really going the way I want it to. So it's all a process. And so here we are back in our main world. I kind of had to get away from that whole debacle with the the facade, planning the facade there, because it was just too much for me. I wanted to shift my attention to something else, and then when I come back to it, I'll come up with something fantastic. I know it. You never know. But as you can see here, I've kind of set out these little planning lines here just so I can figure out exactly where I want each of the buildings to be. And over here, you can see these little sandstone lines here kind of outlining the this part of the palace. I think I kind of want it to be this width. I'm not too sure yet, but again, it's all in the planning phase. Lots more planning to go here, but that's going to be it for this episode. Don't forget about my buddy Fel. I'll leave a link in the description to his other video. The thing about it is that by the time this video gets out, he will probably start recording his next video for the one that I will be in. But in his videos, he likes to have a little bit of audience participation and try to figure out what he's going to do next, of course, in his next video. And I don't think by the time this comes out, I don't think it'll make the cut, but at least give it a watch and give it a like, and subscribe to that guy's channel, because that guy deserves more subs than I have right now. So that's going to be it for this episode. Like I said before, don't forget to leave a like if you so choose. Leave your comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Keeps you up to date on everything that goes on. So always remember, keep your head up, and I'll see you in the next one.